Hey everybody, Chris the old ass retro gamer here. The Midwest Gaming Classic is rapidly approaching. It is actually going to happen this weekend. If you didn't catch the video I released the other day talking about the panel I'm going to be on at the Midwest Gaming Classic, go check it out. I'll wait. And one of my fellow panelists, Musty Hobbit of Second Breakfast, recently released a video talking about 5 games he's looking for at the convention. And I said, I should do that too, because last year I had set a goal for 3 specific games I was looking for, and those were the Arc the Lad collection for the PlayStation, Phantasy Star for the Sega Master System, and Michael Jackson's Moonwalker for the Sega Genesis. I got all of them. Setting goals for the convention, since I'm going to be there actually for the full 3 days this year, would be a great idea for me, so I can focus and not just go, oh that, and oh that, and oh that, like I tend to normally do when I'm there. So these are the 5 games I'm specifically looking for at the Midwest Gaming Classic 2018. I'm looking for Alien 3 for the Game Boy. A huge Alien fan. I love Alien 3. I think it's a very underrated movie, and I've loved all the games that they have released based on that movie, especially the Sega Genesis game. It's fantastic. But the weird one out is Alien 3 for the Game Boy. It is completely different from all the other games based on that film. Most of them were just side-scrolling action games. The Super Nintendo one was a little bit different. It was kind of like an adventure game and not an action game. Alien 3 is a top-down Legend of Zelda style game. It's a very hard to find game, complete in box, and you know me, I have to have everything complete in box because OCD. There was one on eBay that I was following for the longest time, and it was round about $30, $40, and I was on the verge of buying it I don't know how many times, and I was like, no, this other thing I would rather have. Suddenly the price jumped up to over $100, and I was like, forget that noise. So if I can find a decently priced Alien 3 for the Game Boy at the convention, I'll be super thrilled. I'm also looking for either Rolling Thunder 2 or Rolling Thunder 3 for the Sega Genesis. I'm a huge fan of the original Rolling Thunder game. I loved playing it in the arcade, and I do own the Tengen version for the Nintendo, so of course I want the sequels. And I do remember I had both of them back in the day, and I thought they were fantastic. They kind of built on what the first game had established. Fast-paced arcade action, I loved it. And they've become kind of hard to find nowadays because they are kind of pricey. People do tend to overcharge, so I'm hoping to find at least a decent deal on one or the other, or maybe even both. I don't know. I hope I can get at least one. This is another either-or scenario here. I would love to find either a complete in-box D or a complete in-box Primal Rage for the 3DO. I do already own the games for the 3DO, but it's just the game in a jewel case. I would love to either find either the box for either of them, or a complete version that can sell off the game-only versions that I do have. D is a fantastic full-motion video adventure game that's horror-themed. It's really fun. I remember always loving it, and I played through it recently, and it still holds up. And Primal Rage is a really cool arcade game. It kind of came in on the heels of Mortal Kombat, and instead of pre-rendered actors being used for the characters, it's claymation dinosaurs that are fighting. And I remember enjoying it in the arcade. The combinations of buttons you had to press to do things in that game were kind of crazy and stupid and convoluted, but whatever, I still thought it was a very fun game, and the 3DO version is the best version there is. So if I can get either of those, or like once again both, I will be happy beyond belief. Another game I'm really looking for is to help complete my Sega Dreamcast collection, and that is EGG, or Elemental Gimmick Gear. I don't know much about the game. I do believe it is an RPG, but it is very hard to find, and the price has been rising on it steadily. It's one of the few expensive Dreamcast games I still need to complete my collection. This is another game I've been on the verge of buying multiple times over the years and just passed on it for something else, and now that the price on it is starting to rise, it's kind of getting hard to find, so I'm hoping again I can get a decent deal at the con. So if you watch the channel, you're going to be at the convention, and you see a copy of that, message me on Facebook. I will be eternally grateful. I really want to get this game and knock it off my list for good. And lastly is a game that I have had the opportunity to buy I don't know how many times over the past few years, and every time, once again, I go, no, I'd rather have this other thing. I had it in my cart on either Amazon or eBay at some point and been like, I know this. And now because of Ready Player One, its popularity is soaring, and I predicted it the moment I saw the movie, and it is Adventure for the Atari 2600. I used to play the living crap out of that game when I was a little kid. Back in the late 70s and early 80s, I was like a master at that game. I never did find the Easter egg that is a big part of Ready Player One, but I knew of its existence. I just didn't really care to find it. I just wanted to beat that game as fast as possible. And I did a lot of times. I remember I beat the game once in like 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something like that. It was crazy, especially for a little kid. The price on the game has really jumped lately, and I'm hoping that I can catch someone slipping at the convention who has not seen the movie and does not realize that this game has become extremely popular again. So if I can catch someone slipping, hopefully on day one, the 70s version of myself will be super, super thrilled. Now I just need an Atari 2600 to play it on. So those are sort of 5 games I'm looking for specifically at the Midwest Gaming Classic 2018. If you follow me on social media or whatever and you see some of these things for decent prices at the con while you're there, please message me on the Facebooks or on the Twitter or whatever. Let me know and I will run over and buy it and shake your hand, maybe buy you a beer. So I hope to see you at the Midwest Gaming Classic, and I really hope to see you at the Midwest YouTube Gamers panel that I'm going to be on Sunday the 15th at 1:30 in the Guys, Games, and Beer Presentation Hall, room 202B. So until next time, I'm Chris, the old-ass retro gamer, signing off.